Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells. So The Invisible Man is the story of Griffin, who is a scientist, on a quest to discover or invent, I suppose, invisibility. He accidentally becomes invisible. This book follows his quest to find his friend and find help to reverse the situation, and mostly his descent into madness, because as you can imagine, no one knows how to handle invisibility or the voice floating around, and it's a little bit violent. It's pretty violent, and it's very well written. It's just 140-50 pages maybe. It's very easy to read. The writing style, I think H.G. Wells' writing style overall is pretty attainable, and yeah, it's just really good. It's a good sci-fi, steampunky, psychological thriller novel. So I gave this a 7 out of 10. The points that were deducted for me were because of a few things. It may or may not be a little bit spoilery, I don't know. Watch the rest of the video at your own risk. When the book starts, I'm gonna say the first solid half, maybe third, is in the third person, and it's the kind of exterior voice commenting on the story. And then when Griffith eventually finds his friend and he has to tell him what happened, you shift into first person of him telling his story to his friend. And then towards the end, you go back into third person. And just for a little bit, the pace changes quite a bit. The first part, when it's in the third person, is more so the physical violence part, where people are not understanding who he is, or like when he's trying to fit into society, and it's just like it goes berserk basically, and there's a lot of vandalism, and was there a murder? I guess there were car crashes and stuff, so maybe someone title on the way, but you get the point. And then when he goes into third person, first person, when he's telling his own story, it slows down a lot. It's kind of just recalling how he discovers that invisibility exists. That's more so, I think, his descent into madness. So it's more of a slower pace, and the shift between the two could be interesting. I feel in this case, it too dramatically slows down, and it does get, I don't want to say boring, but it does get a little lackluster after a while. What I did find interesting though is that this book brought a new perspective to invisibility that I hadn't really considered. It does really describe in detail how he found out that you can become invisible. It's pretty cool to see, because he does describe like what he was doing and what he observed and how he decided, oh, I could apply this to that and everything, and like the scientist's mind process. And the other thing is, he describes things becoming invisible. As in, he specifically, when he describes the first time he himself became invisible and he was noticing things, one thing I never considered is that you might become invisible slowly. So he's like, you know, first his skin became invisible, and then his veins, and then his muscles, and I can't remember exactly what order humans are made in, but you get the point. He was becoming invisible from the outside in, and so he's just describing looking at himself like. The other thing is, which quite frankly, no idea why, seems very obvious, but I never considered again, is that when you're invisible, you're also invisible to yourself. So I can see my hands now, but if I were invisible, I couldn't. Which, right, I know you're watching this video like, duh, but I was not like that, okay? I was like, overall, this was a really fun book to read. I think H.G. Wells is always a safe bet if you're unsure if you really like science fiction or not. I think he's a good stepping stone between historical fiction, sci-fi, and maybe psychological thrillers. And what makes this book even more interesting, again, same with other H.G. Wells's books, is that they really are timeless. They could, I think the society's reaction to seeing an invisible entity would be the same pretty much at any time in history, to be honest. That's my personal thought, and that's what makes a classic in my opinion. You could read it at any time in history and you could get the same discussions, same ideas, same whatever. So that was my review of The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you read it below, what you thought. Like the video if you did, subscribe. See you guys next time. Bye!